Check your body.
Gamersledge is now live, streaming voicemails and podcasts. 250 holiday games have begun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamersledge. I am one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me tonight is, of course, Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Oh, very blue. I like it. And also joining us, not from a haunted house, is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Oh, you're joining us from Anime in Space. All right. And last but not least is Keegan. Hi, Keegan.
Hello.
Also Anime in Space. All right, fine. Everybody's way out there today. It's episode 350. The holidays game season has begun. I should have said that more like Shang Tsung, but that's all right. We have so much to talk about. It's not even funny, but what we're going to do is start, as we always do, go around the room talking about what we've been working on, playing, watching since last we met, and we'll start with, let's start with Matt this time.
All right. So on the watching front, I watched the entirety of the Star Wars Visions, the anime studio produced shorts. Yes.
I have many questions. Number one, how many are there?
8.
And number two, what's like the average length of them?
15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, so they're really kind of bite-sized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. I might actually be able to watch them then.
Yeah, they're not TikTok short, but they're pretty short, which works or doesn't work. What by that I means that either they did it really well with giving you, like you read a really good short story and it just gives you just what you need, and it leaves you kind of wanting more, but not feeling like you missed anything. And then there's the short stories that drop you into a world and you just like, what? I don't, where, how, why? And it doesn't answer quite enough of the questions, or fast forwards too much, and you're kind of just like, yeah, you needed some more time. You know how we're kind of always talking about the what ifs feel like they need more time or a couple episodes per. There were a few of them in this anthology that were like that. There's probably of the 8, I'd say there's 5 unique studios that produced these. Different sub studios within the studio in some cases, right? But some of them are really easy. The Kill la Kill studio is incredibly easy to tell. You look at the art for half a second, and if you've seen Kill la Kill, you know that this was done by the same people that did Kill la Kill. And there's a couple others like that. I kind of wish there would have been some, what are in my mind bigger studios. Like to me, the fact that Ufotable or UFO Table, however that's pronounced, I always forget. Ufotable didn't have one in there is like a huge miss, because their art style would have been dead on for this. I mean, just their use of light and lighting and colors would have just been a dead on. But that's not saying what was there wasn't bad. What was there was okay to excellent. I would say there's one that it's not bad, but I didn't care for it personally. And then there's probably 4 that are good to really good. And then there's 4 that are great.
Was it the Rock Band one you didn't care for?
What?
Was it the Rock Band one you didn't care for?
No, that's at the bottom of the 4 that were okay to good.
Is there pod racing in that one? That's what I want to know.
There is no pod racing.
Oh, thank God. All right, I'll watch it.
And apparently all the planets we visit in this one have Edo era Japanese housing villages.
Well, duh.
In them. But some of them could happen in the regular Star Wars universe. Several of them could not. They're a completely different lore set. The setup is completely different. They're definitely Elseworlds type interpretation. The first one starts off really strong. The third one is very good. The fourth one is excellent. And then I think it's like the 7th one is the other of the 4 that are really, really, really good. There's some interesting takes. You start out one and you go, well, hi there, Dr. Light, because the first character you see is very clearly Dr. Light.
All right.
So there's definitely some stylistic choices. You've got the how every 90s anime that had a creepy old guy had the exact same creepy old guy. That creepy old guy is in one of the episodes.
Of course he is.
because he is. So there's definitely some kind of stereotyping stuff in there, but I mean, again, it's what it is, right? It's another interpretation of it, and it's full circle, right? Because a lot of what Star Wars was lifted from samurai films, and so this is kind of bringing it full circle almost. But it was they're I think the longest one is 21 minutes, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we watched 2 of them one night and the rest of them the next night. So it's easy to do in at least two evenings. You could split it up pretty easily. Or, if you only want to take 20 minutes, it's 8 days to get the whole thing done. It's taking 20 minutes a day, at most 20 minutes a day. So yeah, it's a good entry. I don't know what I really expected. I was just hoping for some cool stuff with some cool visuals, and that's what I got. It does default to English, which I didn't think about till the last episode. I should have switched the audio track to Japanese and watched it subtitled. So I'm probably going to watch it again with the language track set to Japanese and then watch it subtitled just to see the differences.
All right. So
but they did have.
You're talking about 160 minutes investment of time, right? Roughly,
Yeah,
somewhere in
roughly.
that, somewhere in that
a little bit
ballpark.
less, but yeah.
160
minutes.
and it's only on Disney Plus.
Yep.
So we're talking $7, I think. Right.
I think for a month is 7 or something.
Yeah,
like that,
$7, 160 minutes. What would you give it out of 10? Is it worth people to check it out?
I would say if you like Star Wars or anime at all, it's easy 9 out of 10 to watch. If you don't like Star Wars and you don't like anime, it's probably like a 5 because it is hella anime and hella Star Wars. But there's some unique stuff. There's some never before seen stuff in there. Some never even imagined that I can think of stuff that is in there also. So, but yeah, I'd give it, if you like either anime or Star Wars, it's an easy 9 out of 10 for the time investment and the cost. Cool. And if you got Disney Plus already, it's a shoe-in, really. Also the other anthology that's going on, I'm caught up on What If. For once, I'm caught up before the show instead of after the show.
Nice.
This last one didn't do anything for me until the very end. The very end is freaking awesome. But the episode itself was kind of, okay, whatever.
I thought it was a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Right, because they've all been like they have gotten like exceedingly dark as things went farther on, and this was the lightest of light episodes that you could have, and I don't think that ending would have worked without that.
It wouldn't have. No, it's the switcheroo, right?
Yeah.
It's the bait and switch on you, right? I want to see the next episode of that one. I want the next issue of that book right now.
Yep.
The episode itself,
that stuff's starting to get on my nerves. Actually, I'll be honest about the series, where they dangle something like that at the end, and it's just like, but that I want that too. Like I want that too.
Well, I've been watching them with Mitchell, and he's hypothesizing that a lot of this stuff is not the last time we're going to see it.
Oh no, I think they'll all get. I think we'll see. I don't think there'll be a single, with the exception of maybe episode 3. I think the rest of them will all get sequels too.
Sequels or be tied into something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, the multiverse of madness is coming, so these could theoretically be some of the multiverses that are diverging from the main timeline.
Yep. 100%.
Main.
That's what they are. Yeah, that's definitely what they are. Yeah. I'm just hoping we get to see Jeffrey Wright as Uatu in the films, in one of the films. I'm well, whether it's actually him or it's just him voicing it,
Well,
I have to have a feeling that he's got to show up.
I love the fact that we could literally see if what's his name, Chris, not Hemsworth, Captain America,
Evans.
Evans. Thank
yeah.
you. If Chris Evans doesn't want to don the Stars and Stripes anymore, give it to Captain Carter. We have options in that way now that we didn't before, that people might actually get on board with. So yeah, no.
But I mean, we do know that Falcon or Mackie is the next Captain America movie lead, so we know that at least for one movie.
Yeah,
right?
for now,
right? Well, right. Yeah, they are the masters of the bait and switch. So
they are.
It's who knows. I finally got another couple episodes of Breaking Bad in. I'm in season 3 of that. Unfortunately, I've had some chaotic life issues that have prevented me from doing a whole heck of a lot of late. We also, Mitchell and I, got caught up as far as we could on Tokyo Revengers. There's one episode left for this season. It should be unlocked by now because we're using a free account, so we got to wait a week. But I think that unlocked yesterday, so we'll probably watch that tonight. Round out season 2. There's also another show I was watching, and I swore it was Amazon, and I scoured Amazon looking for what it was that we watched, and I cannot figure out what it was. So either I made that up or it wasn't on Amazon.
What thing?
I don't remember. That's the problem. I'm like, I don't know. I've had a lot of stress lately, and my memory does not deal with stress well.
Understood. What genre was it?
Geeky
anime?
No, it wasn't anime.
Oh, so it was.
I feel like it was live action, but
like Parker Lewis Can't Lose kind of thing.
Wow, it was something new though. Yeah, Parker Lewis Can't. That's a callback, but it was something new. It was like new, and I kept on going. Or no, was it on Hulu? Maybe that's what it was. I kept on going to Amazon, but it wasn't on Amazon. It was on Hulu. What came out on Hulu recently?
I mean, you need Flowchart.
Yeah, I know, but like
What We Do in the Shadows?
No, not that one.
That's gothy, not geeky.
And that's comedy too, so that wouldn't be.
Oh, this is not comedy?
It's not straight comedy. I mean, there might be comedic elements to it, but anyway, I can't remember what it was. But now that I think about it, I think that was the same thing. Every time I'd launch Amazon, only to realize it wasn't on Amazon, it was on Hulu. So I don't remember what it was. It's probably not important. Anyway, I finished Dune, so I've got that under my belt, contemplating whether I want to read any of the
Messiah.
Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. I won't go any further than that because I know at that point it just gets really, 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 really weird. Why The Last Man? That's what it was. That's what it was.
That's it.
And while I agree with you, episode 3 got better,
Provident
still not
said,
doing anything for
I
me.
watched this thing. It had actors and stuff. They were
you said
acting.
they've taken quite a few liberties.
I'd
I don't know.
like
I didn't
to
read the
watch
book,
it
but
again.
It's not doing anything for me. I'm not engaging. None of the characters are really good anchor characters. Hero maybe is kind of, at least you can kind of, I don't know, empathize with her situation a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm stretching. Yeah, I'm stretching. But
Is watching
it. Yeah. I don't know. It's not landing for me. I mean, it's not bad. Not to mention, it's got that weird timing, like season 2 and 3, and this is seeming like a Vaughn thing, right? But season 2 and 3 of Runaways just had this really weird timing where you just stay on a shot for like an unnaturally long time for no real good reason. And this has that too, which makes a little more sense for a post-apocalyptic kind of thing, but
I just don't
it
like.
Doesn't make the show flow.
Well, not only that, but I think they've made the main character unlikable.
He's totally unlikable.
And it's like, that's not how it was in the book at all. I mean, yeah, he had his geeky sides, but he wasn't like a complete mess up.
Jackass.
Yeah, loser. I mean, seriously, I was, building this up for Lexi, and we sat down to watch it, and I was really disappointed. So I'm gonna, I think there's only 6 episodes or something like that, 6 to 10, whatever. I'll watch this first season, but man, if it doesn't, I don't know, man. They really, they're making everybody really not likable, to be honest. Even Agent 355, who is just comes across as straight up badass in the end of episode 3, Why the Last Man is what we're talking about. At the end of episode 3, they made her kind of unlikable also. And I was like, well, you can't alienate everyone and then expect them to empathize with anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of doing that that over grimdark thing that like everybody that was trying to do BSG and they were trying to do the grimdark thing where BSG up to season 3 kind of ran that line really well. Season 3 they went off the rails, but up till season 3 they ran that line really well of everybody's terrible but still had redeeming qualities about them. Yeah, this is like it's trying to do that thing again but failing. Like they didn't find the razor's edge. They fell off the razor. And
it's sad because legitimately when we had the comic shop, Why the Last Man was our number 1 selling comic, that and The Walking Dead. And did Vaughn have no input on this? This is such a
producer.
Yeah, which makes me go like, why didn't anyone say, we maybe need to dial this stuff with Yorick back a little bit? It's so strange.
And again, executive producer can mean nothing, right? Yeah. That can basically just be a honorific position. So maybe he's not directly, but
that's just the amount of the check he cashed.
Well, it's everything from lead writer to getting paid for an extra thing. But
I don't know. It was really strange. I tell people, if you're a diehard fan of the comic, go ahead and read it. But for everybody else, I'd say wait and see what they do with maybe season 2. Because I'm really sad about that too, because I really wanted it to be great.
Yeah, and it's not doing a really good job of setting things up either. Like, with something like that, you need to have some sort of hook that you're, invested in, and they're I mean, it's there, they gave it to you, but it didn't sink, right? It didn't sink in, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Red Dune. I've read the first 2 Expanse novellas that only came out as ebooks. Butcher of Anderson Station and Gods of Ruin. Really good, really nice. Focus in on elements of characters that were kind of minor or aspects of characters you didn't see. I think there's 3 more. Hopefully going to get them done this month, and then I can kind of maybe sort of fake that I got my book a month thing in. I did read a fat stack of comics. I've got 3 more fat stacks of comics to get through. And I know, by the way, starting next month, there is a Amazing Spider-Man book every week. Well, it's a weekly mag now.
Enjoy that while you can before they lose Spider-Man.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. I know. And then I bought the trade number 1 for the book Crossover, which is a Donny Cates book written for, is it Image? Of course, it doesn't say on the cover.
I think it's Image.
I think it's Image. And I don't know how the rest of the series will hold up, but if issue 1 is any indication, holy crap. Yeah, that was a ride. I had to work hard to put that down at the end of my lunch break and go back to work because I just wanted to chew through the rest of that trade. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Donny Cates' work or just looking for
what's the genre?
Inverse Izukai.
Oh, okay, sure.
But dark because it's Donnie, so it's got to have a dark twist to it, right?
So someone comes from a magic world to the normal world, and we watch them adjust to being in normalcy.
it seems like that's going to be part of it, but it's bigger than that. It's an entire universe of. It's okay. It's kind of in the premise. It's not really a secret. If you read the synopsis, you'll get this. The entire world of every superhero comic ever bleeds over into the real world.
Oh. And
except with real world consequences. So when two people go battling it out in a city, like millions die.
right.
Right.
Oh, so they do still have their powers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
What
not
was the name of this?
It's called Crossover.
that's not a place I want to live.
No. I mean, there's things and there's definite allegory to stuff that's going on in the world today. I mean, they don't hide it at all. It's right there in your face. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was good. I mean, I'm being incredibly vague, even what little bit we know from issue 1. I don't want to spoil because issue 1 was just amazing. But there's definitely, yeah, it's definitely an interesting world that they've set up, and I really want to see where they're going with it. I think this month issue 8 comes out. I'm contemplating switching to going by issue, but I'll probably keep this as trades. I gotta keep my habit at bay one way or another. So then that's pretty much been my reading for the last couple of weeks. And then on the games front, which has been incredibly light, I bought Kenna Bridge of Spirits, primarily for my daughter because she wanted it. And she had been having zero luck finding a PS5. And the day after I bought it, she got a PS5.
Nice.
So now I have it anyway. So I wanted to play it anyway.
Is it
I'm not
Kenna
very
or
far in it.
Kina? I thought it was Kina.
I haven't actually heard her name pronounced yet. I've just been pronouncing it Kenna, but I don't remember from the preview events.
I think from one of the trailers. I think it's Kina. It doesn't matter. But
okay,
yeah,
Kena.
Yeah.
However it's pronounced. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but I like what it is. It's, at least so far, again, I'm not terribly far into it, but so far it is a character platformer in the thread of like Jack and Daxter. Or, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, or Tak and the Power of Juju, or any of those of that PS2 era of character platformers. You're definitely not in an open world, at least I'm not yet. You've got your character, you've got their move set. She's she can talk to spirits. She's a spirit guide, spirit guardian, spirit, something like that. Again, I'm not very far in it, and there's not a lot of talking early on. So there's not a lot of exposition set up at the beginning. I think there's going to be more as you go on. But it looks great. It plays great. Whereas, if you try and go back and play some of those PS2 era games, they're kind of rough because, it's still trying to figure out how to master the 3D space. Right. Mm-hmm. But with with all the knowledge of 3D space and modern controllers and modern graphics, it looks great. Have had a few frame rate hiccups. Nothing that was, destroy the game, but was a little bit jarring. Somebody comes around a corner and whoa, okay, that was weird. There's collectibles. Of course, there's collectibles because that's a key component of that genre, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it seems like a really, really solid game. It's reviewing incredibly well. I'm excited to keep on playing it. I'm gonna try and get it done before Metroid Dread drops, but I'm gonna have to seriously find some more gaming time because and fight the urge to play Final Fantasy 14 too. So
does that mean you're doing the review for Kina, so I can do the review on the other two?
Yeah, I could probably do that. I just got to start paying more attention. Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
And then Final Fantasy 14. I did get the Noctis, the Final Fantasy 15 event done. I did have to drop that final boss battle down to easy because it could one-shot me. No matter where I was, no matter what I did, the best gear I could get for my character level, it still one-shot me every single time.
Wow.
When it got to that one attack. So I bit the bullet on that one, knowing I wasn't going to get leveled up enough or geared up enough before the end of the event. So I just bit the bullet and dropped it to easy.
I still had to do it on easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That
Don't feel
Garuda
bad.
battle is.
Yeah,
just,
no, it was
gosh.
designed to be a test of your patience, and it was.
Yeah, that was
You
brutal.
I just ordered the crossover to my Kindle tablet.
Nice.
Nice. You sold it, Daddy. You sold it.
It was the trade was like $17, and throwing it on their Kindle was just $8. So it was like,
Oh wow. Nice.
can't beat
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah. That's
I had to,
that's
I had to double check to make sure it actually was the
the whole volume. Yeah.
trade. It's like 176 pages. Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, and I just found out I've been wanting to read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run because from all accounts it's really, really good. But now I found out that's the key into the next Marvel event. So now I really have to go back and Unlimited and read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run. But then so that Final Fantasy 14, Kina Kenna, whatever it is, Divinity Original Sin 2 for our Wednesday night game, and then I haven't played any, but Mitchell bought Tales of Arise, so I've seen a fair bit of that. It's if you played a Tales game, it's your anime action RPG fix, right? Lots of talking, lots of people screaming attacks on a screen all at the same time.
Can you pick up a second controller and play 2-player?
No, unfortunately, there's no 2-player on it. There's no multiplayer. It is strictly single player. But you can switch what character you're controlling. So I mean, if you wanted to do it that way, I'll play this character, you play that character, you could controller swap, but not simultaneously. But it does look really, really, really good. Especially the lighting in the game is top notch. Tales games generally look pretty good, but this one does definitely look really good. And that's it. That's my list. It fit all on one little sticky note.
Nice. Let's go with Dave. How about you, Dave?
Hey.
First,
actually,
first, let's get the important stuff out of the way. What are you drinking?
Oh, this was a little variant of an old fashioned tonight I made. It was a Tullamore Dew rum cask whiskey, which I actually hate straight. Like I tried it straight because I was like, I like rum, finishing in a rum cask. Yeah, sure, why not? And I tried it just straight, and I was like, wow, I actually don't enjoy this. Which is funny because my favorite go-to is Tullamore Dew's cider cask. It's the whiskey finished in cider casks, which is my favorite go-to one. The rum cask one, totally different for some reason. Totally different, not as good. So I figured I'd mix it. So I mixed it with a little bit of a lime, sweetened lime syrup, apple bitters, and mix that together for a little tropical kind of, drink.
Nice.
And that worked fine. So I'm just going to use that for mixing.
So what have you been up
what's
to? What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
So watching, we've been watching, we caught up on, we were a few episodes behind on Ted Lasso. We didn't watch tonight's. There was a new one tonight, I guess. That's still, a fun show. Really like that. We watched that Clickbait series on Netflix. Crime drama kind of stuff. I thought it got a little convoluted at the end, but not too long, not too much of an investment, so it's not that big of a deal. There was I started watching the Star Wars Visions. I got like 3 episodes into that. I enjoyed the first 3 that I saw so far, so it really does start off strong though. That first episode really, they probably should have saved that one to like the middle, maybe even the end, depending on how it goes. But I am enjoying the series. And then there was let's see, AEW Rampage was awesome this week. You didn't watch it yet? Are you kidding?
That's what we're doing directly after the podcast.
Usually Mark is the one in the
No,
role of Dave.
not-
Dave is the role of the Mark.
Not Rampage. Rampage is on.
Tonight. That's why I
Yeah,
was
I'm
like,
missing it.
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Dynamite.
No, Dynamite was fantastic.
That first match, like, ooh,
So the funny part is I called the finish a day before it went live. I'm like, you can't. Sorry, I'm going to digress for just 1 second, Matt. I promise not to let your eyes glaze over too much. You can't beat the world champion so quickly again and have him be credible. So I'm like,
yeah,
how could they do this? That makes sense. And so yeah, I was very happy with that. The fans weren't, but I was happy with it. So,
I mean, I assumed something like that was going to happen, because I mean, it didn't make sense to, for, Danielson to come in and do anything, that strong right off the bat. Like, I mean, they've been very smart at build up.
yes.
So,
But that whole show was just really, really good. And again, it's like you watch the competing product, and I'm seeing the 9th rematch of Lashley and somebody, and I'm just like, just murder me. It doesn't have to be like this. And thank God that there's just a quick aside, Lexi hates CM Punk, and I totally get it. She's like, she doesn't like the fact that he beat Darby. She doesn't like the fact that all these people keep chanting for him, and it takes him forever to say whatever he has to say. And I'm like, I get your perspective and where you're coming from, because you don't understand everything that went on when WWE started going bad. If you love WWE, no offense, it's totally fine. But when a lot of people,
no, it's not.
When
Don't
a lot
lie.
of when a lot of people didn't
Don't
like
lie like that. You
the
can't even do it with a
direction-
straight face.
when a lot of people didn't like the direction that WWE is headed, CM Punk was the one that stood out and became like the voice of truth for a lot of the fans, because there were no alternatives, and there hasn't been any real alternatives for 20 years. And so she's like, yeah, but there's AEW. I'm like, yeah, but there wasn't. For 20 years, there was nothing. If you didn't like WWE, you had to suck it up if you wanted to watch wrestling, because that's all there was, unless you were crazy like me and traded tapes or, imported, DVDs from Japan or whatever you did in that time to try and keep yourself sane, but still a wrestling fan. So I think it's really amusing to me. I'm like, just wait, he'll turn heel and then you'll hate him. She's like, great, I already hate him, so I want him to turn heel.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife is actually interested in seeing him wrestle. She's not even a wrestling fan, doesn't even watch this stuff, but she's interested in just because of the way the crowd reacted, and she gets a kick out of the fact that he doesn't look like a professional wrestler, according to her.
Right.
So and I was just like, well, a lot's changed. They're giving skinnier people a chance now. So it's pretty fine. But games. So I've been playing this indie game that dropped on the Switch called Toem. Did you hear about this one?
No.
So you're going to even wonder why I'm playing this game, because it does not sound like anything I would touch in a million years.
It's big budget online multiplayer?
Yeah, so it's a little indie game. Completely black and white. It's got this neat little hand-drawn art style and everything. It's very, very simple. Very chill, relaxing music. And the gameplay involves you as a character traveling to different towns, completing tasks, and all the tasks involve you taking photographs with your camera or using your camera, to solve, puzzles.
Why would you think that you would not want to play this? Why would you think that I would think that you would not want to play this game?
Because it's just nothing I'm interested in. It's low budget indie game. The gameplay mechanic is a guy walking around with a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense for me to play this.
No.
But it's a lot of fun. It's one of those great, it's a very chill, relaxing game. And you got these little puzzles to figure out. There's all this little goofy stuff happening. You have to take pictures of animals throughout the game, and you're making a little compendium for that.
TOEM?
TOEM. Yeah.
And Google shows me the time. Thank you, Google. I appreciate that.
Nice, nice.
So that
Yep.
is apparently on the PlayStation 5 as well,
Is it really?
according to the Wikipedia page.
Oh, nice.
It is on the Switch, Windows, Mac OS, and PlayStation 5.
Oh, I did not realize it was cross-platform. I thought it was like a timed Switch exclusive that got
Is
dropped.
watching.
But it's a great, fun little game. It's one of those like games. It's a chill out, relax kind of game. There's no stress. There's nothing to really worry about. I think the most stressful puzzle involved waiting for an hour to click on a clock, in real time. So it's nothing crazy going on. Great little pick up and play, kind of game.
So apparently it came out this weekend, and it is it has 129 positive reviews, no negative reviews on Steam.
Oh wow, very nice.
So very positive.
So I'm not alone here then.
No.
But yeah, I really dig it. What else happened? I was playing the WarioWare game that came out on the Switch. And I'm gonna say the end result, I played through the main part of it. I still got to go back and, part of the WarioWare games is unlocking everything and then playing them and getting your scores and all that kind of stuff. It is a lot of fun. I did love the story kind of mode to it, but it's not grabbing me like some of the older ones did. And I don't know exactly why. I can't really put my finger on it. It just seems kind of a little bit there's a lot of other gameplay mechanics in it, and I kind of like that, how it switches things around, but it doesn't and I do enjoy it, but it's just not as high up as some of the other ones. So it's a solid 7 in the middle there. I remember one of I think the Wii one was the Wii one was pretty good. There was one in the middle there that was kind of so-so. Maybe it was Twisted. I don't know. Twisted was pretty good though. I don't know. Whatever. One of them in there was kind of a semi-dud. So it's kind of there's room to go there. Hopefully maybe they throw a little update at the game or something like that with a little more stuff to it. I'm trying to think if there was any other games. I thought there was one more thing. Oh God, how did I forget this? So Nintendo Direct happened, and they were just oh yeah, there's the Castlevania Game Boy Advance collection. It's out now. So I was just oh well, I guess I got to buy that now. So I downloaded that right away. Started playing Circle of the Moon. It has 4 games on it. It has the 3 Game Boy Advance games. Circle of the Moon,
Aria of Sorrow.
Harmony,
Aria of Sorrow and
Aria of Sorrow
Harmony of
and
Despair.
Harmony of Dissonance.
For Dissonance, yeah.
And it also has Dracula X on it.
Oh.
The SNES version of it. So there's actually 4 games included on it. Has a bunch of extra features on it. It's got a rewind feature. It's got, game save anywhere, kind of features on it and everything like that. A lot of, that kind of stuff. Plays great, looks like slightly stretched out Game Boy games. It's nothing, nothing crazy, but when you get in to play it, it's plays great.
Did they do it like the Mega Man ZX ones, where you're only using this much of the screen and the rest of it is a frame of something, or did they actually expand it so you can?
There's options.
Okay.
You can fully expand it. You can do it pixel perfect, and you can do it as standard one where they kind of split the difference, which seems to be kind of the best way to go. It keeps the aspect ratio correct, and everything looks good, but it's a little bit bigger. So that's the one I've been playing with, which is the standard. So you have that. There's a music listener, that lets you just listen to all the music. There's galleries. There's even story, recaps that gives you the story going into the game. So you have there's a lot of nice little like touches in it. So it's not just a here's 4 games on a emulated cart, or something, an emulated download, so they do a little more to it. So I'm really digging that. So yeah, pretty busy week there as far as that stuff goes.
No ActRaiser?
No, I didn't get that. I wanted to wait on that just because I'm in the middle of playing a couple different things anyway, and I also heard the Switch one is not the one to get there. Like you definitely want to get the PlayStation version of that. But I'm actually kind of holding out now for that too. Like some of the issues that people were saying they were with the Switch, I wonder if they are actually just overall game issues that carry over on the other side too, or is it just
all I'm saying
the
is
Switch version
what
particularly bad?
the hell, Square Enix? Why do a completely unadvertised game drop like this of a property like this? I don't get it.
It wasn't completely unadvertised. It was in the direct.
Yeah, for the Switch.
Immediately.
It was like, where's any PlayStation announcement for it? Sony announcement? Anything?
I'm guessing that was a little Nintendo money hat thing. Where
I'm thinking you're right because you don't understand. I'm on the Square Enix PR team list distribution list. I get like 20 emails a day and I read all of them every morning. And there's no mention of this whatsoever until it went live. And that's why I'm like, okay. Why would you not tell anybody in advance it was coming?
Nintendo paid for that then. They had to be, because it's not like, the way they were acting about it, I thought it was like a timed exclusive. But no, it actually dropped for everything at the same time.
Yep.
So obviously that was just like kind of like a marketing thing. Like, Nintendo's like, hey, let us announce this. And so there had to be some money changing hands on that one. That was just probably like a marketing deal for them.
Yep.
Makes sense.
People do say the music's great. Graphics are like,
so that's the interesting thing to me is that it is not, I was like, oh, they're just, remastering it, up-resing the graphics, etc. But it's actually not the case. They actually added new music and they added a new world basically that you can do beyond the original one. So that's pretty interesting to me. Lots of new content. And this is one of the games that I've been saying for a long time that should be remade or have a sequel or a new spin on. So I'm really, really glad to see it here.
Oh, there you go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Just FYI, it's $20 on mobile and it's $30 on console.
Oh, Japan.
And is that it for you, Dave?
And I'm almost finished reading Dune. They dropped the soundtrack to it on streaming services. The Hans Zimmer soundtrack. Dead on. I don't know. Have you listened to it yet?
No.
It's fantastic. I was reading a book with that on in the background, and that just really was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so I like doing that stuff. I like reading a book with similar kind of music to get me in the mood. So I like put music on low while I'm reading the book. Like when I'm reading like Cyberpunk, I have like a playlist I made up called Gibson. That I'll have playing in the background. It has a bunch of stuff that would fit in that kind of world. So when I was looking for it, they didn't even have the original Dune soundtrack. I was looking for that when I first started reading the book. It doesn't exist anywhere. So yeah, I thought there's a lot of weird stuff that's just not out there. But this actually worked really well and, made the book really, I was like, oh yeah, he nailed it. It really feels like the world. So music will definitely be good at least.
Well, then let's tackle Keegan. What have you been up to?
I watched I finished the anime Tokyo Revengers yesterday because I am leeching off of a friend's account, Crunchyroll account. So I have seen the most recent episode.
The opinions expressed by the Gamersledge contributors are not those of Gamersledge.
Then I also binged through To Your Eternity, which is what this background is. It's I can't really say what it's about without spoiling, like making the effects of the first episode less impactful. So I'm just gonna say it jumped to my number 3 spot of top anime.
And what's the name of it?
To Your Eternity.
All right then.
And is that Utada song that plays during the
Yes.
commercial for that? Is
Yes.
that the opener? Okay.
Yes, it is. It's very good. You should all watch it like now.
All right.
Especially
Podcast
you and
over.
Dad.
Let's
Yep,
go on.
podcast over. Time to go watch anime.
Especially you and Mitchell, Daddy.
Yeah. Well, we'll put that on at some point here.
All right. So and then I last night I started watching Eden Zero, which is created by the same creator as Fairy Tail, which was one of, if not my first anime. So just kind of like, whoo, watching that. I've read the first couple volumes of the manga. I'm just gonna say the manga did at least the first episode better. So I'm still giving hope for the show.
And this is the one where the characters look exactly the same as the characters from.
There are
Fairy Tail.
quite a number of characters that look exactly the same. Such
And
as
there's
the main-
literally a blue talking cat named Happy.
Yes, Happy is the same. Happy is the same character. Like it is personality wise. Look, the only difference is it's a robot.
Oh. Did not know that.
Yup. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm watching that. I just started that. I've been keeping up with My Hero and Black Clover. There's one more episode of Black Clover until we're caught up to the sub, and then we have to wait for the movie that's going to be coming out eventually. I'll have to look up when that is. Then I think My Hero also only has one more episode this season. I could be wrong there, but I think it only has one more episode this season. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, I saw that Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, which is a sequel manga to Fairy Tail, has gotten confirmed that's going to get an anime. So, woo! Yeah. So I think that covers my watching front. Gaming front, I played a little bit of Smash Bros. Not much this last 2 weeks, but maybe once. Just including in there because it probably happened. I'm in a D&D campaign and we had session 1 this Monday. And that went pretty well. I play I dual class as a ranger and a fighter. So I did Battle Master fighter with the hunter ranger. So
what levels did you guys start at?
6. So I put 3 and 3. So I have my fighting styles. So what I was able to do with my DM was convince him to let me stack the dueling fighting style from both of them, since they both can get it. So I allowed him to stack that, which gives me a +4 to my damage. Then I also managed to get a 20 for my dex, so I have a +9 to my damage.
So what you need to do next level is take a level of rogue, so you've got sneak attack as well.
I'm trying to get to the point where I can get my extra attack because I don't have my extra attack yet. But also I have Colossus Slayer. So if I have a Hunter's Mark, so I can deal quite a bit of damage because I have a rapier, so 1d8 there. Hunter's Mark is 1d6. Then Colossus Slayer, if they've already taken damage, is another 1d8. Then if I use one of my battle styles, combat style skills, I get another 1d8 added on. They have my +9 to damage.
Nice.
Yup.
Jeez.
So yeah. But yeah, I didn't think
Is
about doing the
watching.
rogue thing, but that would definitely help me deal more damage.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. But also, so would being able to get 2 extra attack. But I have to get 2 levels before I get my extra attack.
That's correct.
So we'll figure that out.
And what
Assuming
else?
we even get that many levels.
And what else did you end up playing this week?
Playing. I downloaded what's it called? War Thunder, because I had some residents who played and were like, hey, you should play with us. And I was like, okay, sure. I downloaded and played a very little bit of Genshin. Because once again, I had a friend who was like, hey, you should play this. And I was like, sure. Did I play anything else? I don't think so.
All right, then.
Then on to reading front. I've been continuing my reading of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, the original run by Stan Lee. Yeah, that's going pretty well. To the point where fighting Wilson Fisk, and he brainwashed Gwen's dad. If that rings any bells for those who have read it. Yep, so that's currently where I am. I figured that falls under, it's been long enough, it doesn't really count as spoilers anymore.
That's pretty safe. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
50 odd years old. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's going pretty cool.
Yeah, when stuff's out before, like, all of us are born.
Don't really have to worry about spoilers.
Plus, it's Spider-Man. Nobody likes it anyway.
What? Spider-Man's awesome.
I'm just trolling.
I know.
He's just
I
hurting
know.
my soul.
Yes,
all.
that's pretty much it. Actually, I really don't dislike him very much. I mean, I think he's just fine. I just do it to.
Yep, you just troll.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but yeah, the Spider-Man comics have been getting pretty good. Looks like the Green Goblin might be making a reappearance soon. His memories had been erased of his Green Goblin days, but it's kind of foreshadowing that that's going to be coming back. Did I read anything else? No, other than textbooks and assignments.
Gripping stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
I think that's it.
All right. So my list is pretty lengthy. Been playing quite a bit of Deathloop recently. I had to explain it to somebody, and I think I might have done this in the chat that you guys are in, but I might not have. I'm not sure. To me, it's a if you crossed BioShock with Borderlands and set it in a 1960s spy film with a Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, and the two main leads are blaxploitation characters that have been updated for 2021. That's Deathloop.
Nice.
It's
Okay then.
I'm having actually a really good time with it. I suffer from motion sickness when I play a lot of FPSs, and I've always kind of thought that it's got something to do with the refresh rate. But I have played this one quite a bit and only had one time that I felt bad, and that was I was up really late. I should have stopped before that. So probably just because I was very tired and I've been up multiple nights because I've been trying to chew through it. So we'll have a full review on it. But so far, where I'm at in the story right now is I have the game walks you through tutorials and there's a lot there. But then eventually it drops you into, it's not an open world, but I would say like a hub that corresponds with time of day. So you have basically only 4 locations that you can go to in the whole game, but different people are at different locations at different times. And the goal of the game is to kill all 8 important people in one day. And there are pieces of information you learn. And so basically you have a big string board for all intents and purposes that you kind of use to figure out what the best way to do it is. It does seem like it is going to be more linear than I thought it was going to be. Cause I kind of thought, oh, you can just go anywhere at any time and find these guys and kill them, but you really can't because of this. So it looks like it looks like the game is fairly linear, but I don't mind that. What I do mind is the fact that they give you basically 8 different superpowers to choose from, but you can only choose 2. And that is a little disappointing because it seems like they could have incorporated the others, but that would have actually broken the linearity, I think, of it, if that makes sense. So, which it may not, and that's fine. I don't want to give too much away. But the game, very stylish. The voice acting is probably one of the best voice acting performances I've heard in a game in a long, long time. From everyone up and down the board, like there's 2 main characters. There's obviously Colt, who's trying to break the loop, and there is the time loop that everybody's stuck in, and then there is her name has just left my brain. Her name is
Aisha Taylor. Tyler?
No. It's not her at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the character's name. Not Juliana. Juliana is the other character, and I can't say. Basically, she's assumed the role that Colt had before he decided he wanted to break the loop in this world. And the interesting thing, and is completely optional, you do not have to do it. Is if you choose to, you can have people invade your game as Juliana. So other players, instead of an AI, is playing as Juliana. And I think the biggest surprise for me is that this isn't a run and gun game. It is very much in the realm of the rest of the games that this company has made. It is more of a stealth kind of approach to everything. And I find myself Metal Gearing it more than anything. I'll run up with people with my ice pick and kill them, or with a knife and chop their head off than I will shooting most of the time. However, I will say that the gun progression is getting more and more to the point where I want to go in guns blazing, but that is a pretty surefire way to die in most circumstances. Yeah, you had a question, Dave. I'm sorry.
I did not actually.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. My bad.
No.
So yeah, that's I've been spending a lot of time with that to build the review. That's been really fun so far. It's still a little too early to give it a score, but it's going to be above 7. I just don't know how far. But the voice acting is phenomenal. I do recommend it for people who like FPS / stealth action murder games. Also played a good chunk of Diablo 2 Resurrected, which came out on, last night, which is Thursday's a weird day to drop a game, but hello Blizzard. All right. I was curious if they would put any of the quality of life stuff that was in Diablo 3 into Diablo 2. And the answer is they did not. None of it. It is exactly as the game was built. I'm not, it's been so long I don't remember, but does anyone remember, did the original game segregate between online and offline characters? Crickets. No one played it but me? Okay. Got it. Yes, you can't take a offline character online, and you can't take an online character offline. So you have to make new characters for each of those. So if you want to play with your friends, you have to make an online character. Otherwise, offline character it is for you, and you'll never be able to play with your friends with it. So Dave, you would play offline. I'll play online.
I feel like that was a thing into.
I really think it was because it still tells you to connect to battle.net, which I thought was hilarious. Which you can do. I mean, you can go there, but it's not obviously not the same anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I think the most surprising thing to me is that the game is 800 by 600 upres to 4K.
Ouch.
And you know what? It actually kind of, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but the characters are large enough that it's not bad. That it looks all right. It doesn't, I don't know. It's Diablo 2, man. That's really the short. It's Diablo 2 from 20 years ago. So, you still have to manage your inventory incredibly meticulously. And there's nothing much to help with that. And it's got all the extra stuff that dropped from the expansions. So you've got that to contend with too. But it's Diablo 2 and it's really fun. So the gameplay loop is still fun after all this time. And I'm playing the Necromancer and I'm having a lot of fun rezzing people and then blowing up corpses to kill things. And unlike my computer from the 1990s, this doesn't try and kill my PS5 when I blow up the corpses. So that's a plus. So yeah, so far so good. I need to put a lot more time into it to matchmaking, or like the game wasn't working initially for people on PC at launch. And then even PSN had some problems. But PC got the bulk of the problems from a couple people I talked to. They had resets on their characters. Like they did a rollback because nothing was showing up, and they rolled back and lost all the progress they had made that day. So that kind of sucks for if you're on the PC front. PlayStation just wasn't working for a while, and then it was working fine by the time that I logged on to start my adventure with it. And the only thing I ran into was that there was nobody to, like, I kept trying to join games for the act or for the quest I was on. And that's how old this is. If you don't remember Diablo 2, you have like 6 quests in the first act, and you have to choose what quest you want to join, and then you join people's games that way by quest. So that was kind of fun. And there was nobody on. So I just ended up creating games. There's also no shared loot. So keep in mind, or instance loot, I should say, it's all shared. So if Matt and I are playing together and a wand drops and we both want the wand, then we have to figure out who's going to get the wand. So I thought maybe they would instance that to make it more, but nope, it's exactly as it was in the olden days. So huzzah. The biggest thing is tonight Lexi was building her character and starting the game, and she says, so wait, if I go into the quest log and I click on the quest, it's not going to just automatically walk me there. And I'm like, no, that wasn't the thing 20 years ago at all. So there's that. Let's see, what else did I play? I played Divinity Original Sin 2 on Wednesdays. Finally, somewhere where I've never been in the game. I think we're going to finish it. I'm looking forward to it. Fortnite, there's a new Eddie Brock that turns into Venom pack. And I knew you'd be upset about that, Matt, but I was less upset when I realized that they actually gave me a discount on the new one because I bought the old Venom pack. So if you did, then it's only like 800 V-Bucks to get the new one. So that's more stomachable than spending $20, but it's not bad. It's a pretty good emote. I mean, he's Eddie, and then Venom forms and swallows his head like it does in the movie. So it's not bad. I found a game that somehow slipped under my radar, AAW Action Arcade Wrestling. I did put a little bit of time into it. It's fully voiced tutorial. It has thousands of CAWs online, which are creator wrestlers. So I have pretty much AEW, a good chunk of NJPW, and then I have a good chunk of ECW already made as factions in the game. Controls just like the WrestleMania 2K stuff from the 90s. So that's also a plus for those of us that can't get into Fire Pro Wrestling, which is just me. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, still playing it. I started a fun non-review playthrough since I finished the review, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Final Fantasy 15, I got my car. I didn't realize the quest line you had to finish because I sat down and like, I'm going to do my fashion log and get my, I got my 200,000 gil or 200,000 gold saucer points. And I'm like, I'm going to just buy the car. And the guy's like, sometime we'll have stuff. And I'm like, what? And I started to look it up online, saw that there was a quest line that I had to do. So I spent 3 hours doing the quest line and like 5 times trying that last boss fight. Garuda fight sucks. Whoever invented it should have been shot.
Yes.
But I did get it. So huzzah. And yeah, there's that. I've been playing Star Trek Online. Also, I got my original series character to 65, which makes my third character to 65. And Final Fantasy VII Remake. Funny story. I told you guys when I moved into this house that I couldn't find any of my game discs.
Mm-hmm.
And I still can't. Still have no idea where they are, which sucks. But I found the case for Final Fantasy. And if you remember, Final Fantasy VII Remake was a 2-disc thing. And I didn't know if it was the game disc or if it was the install disc. And so I thought it was the game disc because when I booted Final Fantasy 5, it took it as, okay, you're good. I see you've got the Final Fantasy 4, the PlayStation 4 Final Fantasy 7 disc in the drive. You're good to go. So I was okay. So I finally went to go boot up Final Fantasy from the PS4 version to transfer the save file over. And that's when I realized it's the install disc and it won't let me boot Final Fantasy 4 on the PlayStation 4 without having the game disc. So that sucks. So I've got to try and find it again. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like this system at all. If I have it, just let me. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, there should be a way from the online storage where you can convert it or swap it or whatever.
Something.
That would, yeah.
ActRaiser Renaissance dropped today with new content. Haven't had a chance to touch it. Also, still haven't had a chance to touch Kingdom Bridge of Spirits yet. I'm very frustrated about that. Watched Free Guy, which was way better than I thought it was going to be. I went in with pretty low expectations. I really like it. I think Lexi will love it. It is, in essence, a love story, but with video game tropes, and it's quite humorous and good. There were a couple moments that I was actually genuinely surprised to see in the movie, like that actually got a couple claps from me. It was that good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Like, I don't think it's the best movie ever, but it may be like in the top 2 or 3 video game movies, which is a low bar to clear, I get, but it's pretty far up there. It was pretty funny. I really liked it, honestly. I watched the Emmys, which was actually entertaining. I liked it. Conan was hilarious. And they should hire him to go to every Emmys and act like that, because he was the graduating kid from high school that DGAF. He didn't care about anything. He was just being himself, and it was hilarious. I watched Shang-Chi again. It's still good. The Voice started again, and that's been really good. We talked about Why the Last Man and What If already. I rewatched Invincible again. That is another place I don't want to live, is in that world.
Fair.
It's amazing how good that series is and how true to the comics it is, even if it's not, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's true to the spirit of the comics, even if they've condensed everything into like a really small chunk.
Right.
But
similar to MCU, right? I mean, it's,
yeah,
it feels right, even though it isn't.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've been watching a lot of Norm Macdonald on YouTube since his passing. which I don't know why, but that kind of struck me a little hard. I think it's because his sense of humor very closely aligned to my dad and I's, and it's just weird. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, which was phenomenal. We're about to watch the Rampage Grand Slam as soon as we're done with the podcast tonight. And I think that's my list. So huzzah. Let's get to the news. There's a good chunk of news. I'll start. The very first one we have is that there is a Super Mario Brothers animated movie, and the voice cast, Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, will be playing Mario and Luigi, respectively. Anna Taylor-Joy will play Princess Peach. Jack Black will be Bowser. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, and Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, and Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. And it's aiming for a holiday 2022 release.
It was really great. I actually watched the Nintendo Direct with my son. And so he could get really excited about new games coming out and everything like that. And I was explaining to him what it is beforehand and stuff. And then when they started announcing the Mario movie, even my wife perked up and she was just like, wait, they're doing a Mario movie?
Nice.
And then she was just like, oh, it's the people that did Minions and Gru. That's gotta be good. So I have pretty high hopes for that. And the cast is, everybody's crapping on Chris Pratt, as Mario. So we'll see how that works out. But everybody else is phenomenal. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
I still hope John Leguizamo's in there somewhere. I secretly wish they would have cast him as well, not secretly because I'm saying it out loud, but wish they would have cast him as Luigi, because he easily could have done that, and that would have been the best meta thing ever.
Yeah.
But I get they don't want to acknowledge that movie ever existed. So
that's a good reason for that.
All right, who's got the next one?
I'll go. So there's in the Nintendo Direct, they did a little teaser for an update for Animal Crossing. So you have to tune in again in October where they'll give you full details. However, Brewster's coming back. So
I was super excited that Dave actually had something prepared for the show, and I should have known it was going to be an Animal Crossing related thing. I should have known.
Dude, it's Brewster. It's big news. It's big news. The coffee shop's coming back.
Matt?
The coffee shop.
Matt.
An Animal Crossing.
I honestly don't. I know you said there's a lot of news, but I don't have anything written down for mine. But except I want to be excited about this game. I really, really want to be excited about this game. But for some reason, I know part of it's just that I know the overload is already hit and that's just going to get worse. But Voice of Cards, The Isle of Dragon Roars. Weirdest name ever, but of course it is Yokotaro, so right? Yokotaro, excuse me. But it's a hybrid tabletop RPG card game dice rolling video game. It's got a guy who wears a giant moon mask on his head, so yeah.
Sold.
It looks good. I mean, there's three main characters. You're using this. Everything in the game is cards. The map is cards. The characters are cards. The battles are cards. The shop is cards. The equipment's cards. There's dice rolls. So there's RNG for attack and hits and stuff. It looks really interesting. And as far as I can tell, there is no multiplayer. So Mark will never play it.
That's not true. I'm playing a couple single player games right now.
I know, but I gotta get my post.
Yeah, I know.
But it's not a card game and it's not a tabletop RPG, but it's got elements of all of those things in it, right? So, but it looks like it's a pretty solid game, and I hope I get around to it at some point. But that's been kind of getting a bit of a push here as it approaches its October 28th release date. So again, it's the guy that brought you Near, right? Both the old Near and the new Near. So if you like that kind of stuff, imagine that there's going to be while it's more medieval than Automata, obviously Replicant is more medieval-ish looking, right? This is very very medieval, very fantasy looking, right? So just take a look at some of the videos out there. Make it it's going to be a very paced game, right? It's not a fast game. This is not a fast game. If you like fast games, this is not for you. This is going to be a very metered experience. But if you're looking for something unique in the RPG realm, this is probably something to give a go.
So I know not everyone here plays a lot of tabletop games, but I think everyone has heard of Gloomhaven, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because it's like one of the most popular tabletop board games of the world. So a couple years ago, they started a digital conversion on Steam where it was promised to be a faithful adaptation of the game to the digital space. And it is actually leaving early access on October 10th. And it has online co-op or single player, if you're Dave, but also has a Guildmaster mode for up to 4 players with more than 250 missions shared between them. And it's basically it's a tactical RPG, very similar to Divinity Original Sin, things like that. But it is based on the board game, which is interesting. So the reason that I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about this, October 10th is when it leaves early access. You can buy it now for $10 less, because when it goes for the live release, it's currently $24.99 on Steam. It goes to $34.99 with the 1.0. But if you buy it in early access, it's the same game, and you get it for $10 less. So you have until October 10th. I'm sorry, October 20th. I just saw that. Sorry, October 20th. So it goes from $25 to $35 upon release. So, and they've already clarified that if you own the early access release version at launch, you'll automatically be upgraded to the full version at no extra cost when it goes live. So if you're looking for board games to play with friends online or at home in a digital format, then you might look at that. Who's got the next one?
Oh, I got the next one.
Is it another Animal Crossing story?
No.
Okay.
This one's kind of legit. So the one thing that everybody thought was coming at the Nintendo Direct was announcement of N64 games coming to their online, on their online offering. And they did. They announced N64 games. And the other big rumor was that there was going to be an N64 wireless controller coming out, for it that you can buy. So that all happened. Boring. Okay. The funny part is it's going to come with an extra upcharge for the online thing for the extra games. I'm curious exactly how much that's going to be. It's probably not going to be significant. Just a couple bucks. Nintendo's pretty cheap with that, so I don't really care about that. But the big surprise out of nowhere, Sega Genesis games are going to be part of the online offering too. Where did that come from? Not only that, but you're also going to be able to buy a wireless Sega Genesis controller that hooks up to the Switch in order to play them perfectly. I thought that was pretty cool. Because this is kind of like, we've been playing Sega games on Nintendo for a while, but this is like an official Nintendo Sega controller to play Sega games. This just feels really weird, kind of dirty, kind of naughty, but I like it.
I think it's a bunch of bullcrap that they're upcharging. Why? Why?
It's
why?
already it's
'Cause it's
pretty
Nintendo.
inexpensive. Yeah, it's Nintendo. That's why. But I mean, it's pretty inexpensive. I want to see how much it's going to go up. I mean, if it doubles, yeah, I mean, it'll basically be on par with Xbox and PlayStation. Then a little bit cheaper still.
They can't double it. It's not enough.
But
I-
then
I-
what's the friggin' point? Why charge it if you're not?
Because it's an extra $5 they're not making the day before. It's simple as that.
I mean, it's not like they're going to make a good voice chat or anything, so they can't charge too.
They didn't make any voice chat. What are you talking about?
That's not true. There's
A phone
the
app you can.
Yeah, it's a phone app. It's your phone.
hold on,
There's no voice chat.
but it does so much more.
No, it does not.
So you go into the online thing, and then I click on every day the Animal Crossing thing, and I collect some coins.
This
This is an Animal Crossing.
yes.
See, look.
Yes.
And
This
then I
is
go,
this
Yeah,
is
click
why
on
I
the
appreciate
points.
Dave, because he has a Norm
And then I go-
Macdonald like conviction to the joke. It is-
see, now I got like 50 things, and I
Just
could,
so
like,
you know, all we see is a giant
yeah,
glow.
giant glow.
I don't
There's
care.
no- yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Hold on. I'll cut it. You see?
Oh,
wow.
there you go.
That-
Yeah.
Wow.
That helped a lot.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
That was.
What is-
I was like, oh wait, now it's. okay,
that's too
whatever.
bright. Turn
So-
down the brightness
Hold
now.
on, let me try it
All
again.
the way down.
So let's see how that. Oh wait,
Oh,
there you go.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
totally read that.
So you can see I can't. But you can get like little extra things that you can put. Like there's a door thing that you can put, a door plate you can put on your Animal Crossing house door, and
Huh.
you can only get it from the phone app. And also in the phone app, I never used it, but there's voice chat. It
Yeah,
says
but
it right there.
it just uses your phone and over the internet. It's not an actual voice chat.
Doesn't matter because the only time I'm playing online with Animal Crossing is with my kid who's sitting right next to me,
Yeah.
and I don't need to use the voice chat because we just yell at each other.
Yeah. And I'm really surprised you didn't mention Kirby and the Forgotten Land at all.
That was next. I can talk about that now if you want, and we'll do a rare Dave's doing all the news.
Sure, go ahead.
It was a heavy Nintendo period, so this makes sense.
I mean, it was a direct, and they actually announced a bunch of new stuff. But yes, there is a new Kirby game, so this obviously makes me very happy because Kirby is my favorite Pokemon, as everybody knows. It looks like it's a 3D open world-ish kind of game, where Kirby is apparently one of the last living things, except for like little animals and stuff on, the
Probably because
world.
he ate them all.
We're going a little dark. I think you're probably right, but
World
it seems-
Destroyer Kirby.
exactly. I mean, we all know Kirby is the baddest mofo in this side of town because, like, he just is. We know if there's ever, like, if everything like starts really going down, the Kirby's going to be the one walking away.
With a
So
full
very,
stomach.
so I'm very excited about this because usually, I mean, I love Kirby games and everything, but usually they're on the lighter side. So they're either like, super easy or kind of like, a little bit more simplistic. They've done that a bunch in the past where like, Kirby's like a quick filler game that Nintendo gets out there. This looks like it has a little more substance to it. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
Matt, do you have one?
Yeah, couple, but I'll just do one now. This is my honorific Mitchell announcement. During the direct, it was rumored during the direct they were going to have the final Smash Brothers Ultimate character announcement, and what it turned out to be is an announcement for the announcement of the final Smash Brothers character.
Yup.
So
I love that
waiting,
stuff.
waiting for another Nintendo Direct type thing, but it'll be specifically just Smash related and announcing the final character. And it was said very clearly, this is the final update for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Will there be another Smash Brothers after Ultimate? Probably.
What's next? system
Come on,
comes
man.
out.
With the amount that it sells, of course there is.
with poor Sakurai being driven completely insane by this one, I'm guessing it'll be at least 5 years before.
Oh yeah,
hits.
easy.
But yeah, that poor guy. His soul has just got to be defeated by now. But
Well, they've never released 2 Smash Brothers on one system.
No.
For
they
some
have
reason,
not.
I want to say the Wii U.
No, they had one for the Wii, and then they had one for the Wii U.
And they both played on the same. They both played on the Wii U. So does that count?
They were the same. They were the same game, but one was the enhanced edition type thing. So that one's
Yeah, it kind of is a gray area, but I think that's
we're not gonna count that.
The Wii U didn't exist, so we can't count it.
Like I think the most glut we had is when they put one on the DS.
Oh
like,
yeah,
or
the
3DS.
DS and the
Like that was probably the closest we've had them. Releasing, but there was like still 2 separate systems.
yeah.
I don't have anything else.
I have
Oh,
something.
Go for it.
I got a couple.
Okay.
All right, so October 29th, the third My Hero Academia movie is coming to North America. So
Is it going to
looking
be
forward to that.
Is it going to be any better than the last 2 movies? Because I'll be honest, the first 2 movies did not do anything for me.
You didn't like the last one?
I thought maybe I didn't see it. I didn't like the one where they went to the island. I know
Yeah.
that one. That
Okay.
one was
That was the
But that
first
one
one,
I-
I think.
was that the first one?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Okay,
so.
maybe that's the only one I've seen then.
Yeah.
maybe.
All right.
So like they totally ripped off Brady Bunch.
Yes, totally. There was a tiki god.
Yep.
The whole thing. Yeah.
Yep. And
Little surfing accident.
the main character was constantly going, Marsha.
Marsha. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the third one will be coming out October 9th. I'm looking forward to that because it's shortly after the current season ends. So more My Hero before we wait for another season. All
I
right.
still have to get past like episode 5. of
Yes,
season
yes,
1.
you do.
Not enough time. Just not enough
That is also true. Time is the resource none of us have enough of, except Mark.
time. That's time compression.
Dude,
though, so-
no, I still.
I've noticed him slipping lately. I don't
He
know.
is,
about
yeah,
everybody
he
else.
I'm
is.
joking.
has
I'm just joking.
I don't know if the dude's actually like sleeping more than 4 hours a night now, but
Uh,
he's not getting as much done as he used to.
I'm not. And
He's
it's,
getting old.
I was just,
Gray. You've got
putting-
gray.
well, that too. Yeah.
What's
I was,
happening?
I was just telling somebody I've got 3 TTRPG unboxing videos I need to edit. I've got the 3 reaction videos that we did that I need to edit. I have all the footage from Deathloop that I need to put into a review. Now I've got to take Diablo 2 and turn that into a review as well. And then and then I still have like a bunch of other video editing stuff. Like I need to redo the new for this. I need to redo the intro for this. I need to do a whole bunch of bumpers and yeah, it's just like I'm drowning, but I'm still trying to get everything done. I'll get it done. We're all professionals here.
Like,
Professionals at something.
Yes.
I'm professional at nothing. There's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's
You were a professional troll, my friend.
Yes.
no,
100%. 100%.
no.
What am I a professional at?
You're a professional college student.
Does that count as being professional?
It does.
Yes,
Take it while
It
you
does.
can.
Yeah,
Trust me.
exactly.
Take
Yeah,
it
you
while
wanna-
you can.
You want to enjoy that. I was just thinking about like all the time I spent, like, creating people by hand and Fire Pro Wrestling 6-man scramble into Saturn, and I'm like, that wouldn't have happened today.
Nope. That was let's see, my college would have been the release of Final Fantasy VII on the PS1. That was the big one. Yeah. Sophomore year of college, my friend.
You're not older than me.
Sophomore year of college.
Dude, that can't. No.
Yes. I have the
No.
footage. I have recorded footage from it.
That was in college, was it?
Yes.
PlayStation 1? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
He's so old, he's losing it.
Yeah,
That's
a
the
little bit.
Yeah, well, I had a Saturn in college. What do I know?
Well, yeah, that came after, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. No, Saturn was the same time as PlayStation. It was like getting its ass kicked by PlayStation.
That's correct. Yes.
Yep.
Because I had both. And
That was-
But I had
Saturn
Night
was-
Warriors. But I had Night Warriors, and PlayStation only had Darkstalkers. So
Well, and also
that was literally
Virtua
one of
Fighter. Virtua Fighter.
That was no, I get that, but like I am not lying that Night Warrior versus Darkstalkers was actually one of my selling points of buying a Saturn. How sad was my decision making back then?
Oh,
Listen, man, I was hyped about the Saturn release.
But the main thing was Guardian Heroes.
Yeah, Guardian
Was-
Heroes is very good.
Was Sega CD I didn't do any Saturn or any Sega stuff. Was Sega CD the expansion to the Saturn, or was that an expansion to
no, that
the
was
Genesis?
that was Genesis. That was the
Okay.
Genesis expansion. But I
I-
mean, you're not far off.
No, but that was
But it-
oh man,
that was still FMV. A lot of FMV.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It did, but there was also Sonic CD, which was phenomenal. Like it's a shame. Like there was a couple like really great actual games for that thing.
All right, so we got to get to the mailbag. We've got a couple
Uh,
questions that came in.
Can I
Oh.
hit a couple things quick?
Yeah, hurry. Yeah, go.
Just because we haven't really talked about it yet, we should note that Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the remakes for Pearl and Diamond, are coming out in November. We haven't really touched on that yet. If you like your Pokemon remakes, go ahead and hit your Pokemon remakes. During the direct, there was a massive expansion called Sunbreak to Monster Hunter Rise. So if you have the Switch Monster Hunter, feel excited about that. There's another Bayonetta, and I still don't care, and I can't tell you why.
Stylish.
Did I tell you that I picked that up like finally and started playing through 1 and 2?
Nice.
I don't remember. No.
It's actually fun. I don't know why
They're
you.
very fun.
I don't know why you don't like it.
There is some line it crosses. It's like it's right there with like Devil May Cry, right? They're like right in the same area, but there's a line between them, and I don't know what it
I
is.
don't-
It's
I don't-
probably. I know what it is. I know what it is for Matt. It's overly stylish.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's,
Because
and
I
that's-
wouldn't compare it to Devil May Cry because Devil May
No.
Cry isn't nearly as frenetic as
right.
Bayonetta.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, style wise, to me, wisecracking, over the top attacks characters. I guess that's where I kind of associate the two. And maybe that's it. Is maybe I want it to be Devil May Cry and it's not. And maybe
Yeah,
that's
see,
where my brain.
Devil May Cry has style. Bayonetta is style, but like way stylish, and just amps it up a little bit too much for you. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
I'm
do you like
overwhelmed
Suda
easily.
51 games?
I've actually never played this.
I'm guessing you would hate them.
You would hate them.
I'm guessing that's the thing because Suda
You
51
would.
games are super stylized as well. Well, wait, what about this one? Persona 5.
I've not played it, but I've watched a lot of it. I don't have any problem with it. I get overwhelmed by the commitment of Persona. Just the concept of the commitment to Persona
150
games
hours.
overwhelms me. So
Hey, if I got a game for you, Divinity Original Sin 2. I've only got 1,000 hours into it, and I've only been to
Yeah.
Act 2. Come join
way-
me.
yeah, we've put enough time into that game, and I can't imagine yeah, that's okay. I'm surprised neither of you brought up the update on Triangle Strategy, which is the worst name ever, but it's hitting in March.
That can't be the real name for it. That's not going to be the real name for it, is it?
It's
an
the
official
real name
name?
for it, yeah.
What is it?
It's a strategy RPG by the people that made Octopath.
Yeah. It's the spiritual successor to Octopath,
Yeah,
I think they
basically,
said. Yeah.
But also like mashing up like tactics, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm totally down for.
I'm really
I'm there
excited
for
about
it.
this game, despite the stupidest name ever.
And they added a bunch of stuff in that was missing from the demo. So they actually took a lot of the feedback from the demo and are incorporating a lot of the features that seem to be missing from the
How
demo.
great is that?
They may have been in the queue anyway, but hey, they made it sound like hey, look, we listened to you. So
Either way, I'll
and
take
At
it.
least as long as they get the PR points.
yeah, and somehow I just found out about a game that totally was under my radar, which is kind of funny because it's a flying game. But I am a huge geek for the space flight genre.
Mhm.
And not a lot there, right? Not a lot that's in that area.
Definitely not enough.
I keep wishing that someone would resurrect Colony Wars, because why not? But that must be locked in some copyright hell. But there's a game called Chorus that's coming out, being published by Deep Silver.
Yeah, just saw that.
Developed by Deep Silver, and it's launching this December this year. I hadn't heard a dang thing about it, but it looks amazing. The lighting effects and the weapons and the upgrade system look just insane. It's kind of advertised as kind of like Burnout, but in space. So, you just kind of flying around, you get within radio range of something, you get a mission and you go do it, and you get rewards so that you can upgrade your ship. So yeah, it's coming to like everything. I mean, it's coming to Stadia, for Pete's sake. So
Wow.
yeah,
Still a thing?
It is still a thing.
Still a thing.
Yeah, it is still a thing.
How?
I have no idea.
I mean,
Maybe
you
they
got to
just
think, even
got
though they
enough.
said, "Hey, we're not going to do anything more with it," these developers have had it in the queue for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
imagine we'll keep seeing
So
stuff
they're
for
just
another 6
dumping the
months.
stuff that was in the queue out slowly.
Yeah.
If you see it, it is spelled with a V, so it's doing the Latin V for a U thing.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's Corvus, but it is Chorus. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about that now, except I've got way too many games between now and December to even worry about. So don't know when I'll get to that one. But okay, done. Go.
Okay.
Mailbag.
So, Dave, pick between 1 and 5.
5.
Noob7 asks, with the current and next gen console game shortage, which is now a good time to pick up a tabletop RPG? Yes.
Game? Wait a minute. Game shortage?
Yeah, well,
I think he means
the consoles. I think they meant the
yeah.
consoles,
Oh, okay.
because it's hard to find them.
I
And
think we're coming
up
to the
until
end of
this,
that.
yeah, up until
Yeah.
the end of this week, up until this week, there really has been a kind of shortage of new games. Like, this has been the lightest store load since the beginning of year that I think we've seen for a while.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation, for PS5.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. Because I've been filling up with a lot of weird little stuff. So I get that. But yeah, I mean, anytime's a good time to really jump into something like that.
And I
Especially
think,
if you have friends and everything.
well, and I think one of the best things right now is that we're kind of just like video games, 10,000 released a year or whatever. We're also in a tabletop RPG golden age, in that you've got D&D if you want D&D, but you can go on Twitter, just search out the hashtag TTRPG, and you can find thousands of small print houses that are printing their own games that sell for like $15 or
watching.
less. So you've got a lot of different options right now and you can invest in as much or as little as you want into them. And I think
that Kickstarter one I talked about the other week.
Yep.
Which is just like a deck of cards. Each individual card is a standalone mini role-playing game with all the rules on the card front and back that you play through. And I can't wait for that thing to show up.
There was one, I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but it is a drinking game. It's a drinking RPG, and it actually comes with cups that have measurements on them. And you make your way, and it's kind of like a cross between a board game and a drinking game, and it looked really fun. And there's all kinds of options out there.
I'm not going to lie. That's any RPG for me.
Yeah, I'll find it and send it to you, Dave. All right, so yeah, anything you wanted to add, Matt?
No, there's so much stuff out there. I mean, a lot of it costs, not all of it. You can find some pretty affordable options, but yeah, there's so much out there. Why not? I mean,
Drive Through RPG, look in the free section. Drive-through-RPG.com. Just look in the free section. Matt, between 1 and 4.
2.
Which game's battle music do you love the most? For me, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. Asks Beyond.
Top ahead, yeah. That's.
I mean, it's really good, but I'd still have to say Chrono Trigger. Excuse
Chrono
me.
Trigger. Yeah, Chrono Trigger's that's solid.
Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy VII Remakes
Final Fantasy VII
is
Remakes
really good.
really tight. That is some of the best battle music I've heard in forever. I think I'd have to agree on that one. I can't think of anything. I mean, Chrono Trigger's right up there. There's nothing about Chrono Trigger I don't love, but
So are we only talking about RPGs?
no.
No, it says games.
okay.
Which games battle
RPGs
music?
are ones tend to have battle music, right? But
Because you know what my answer is.
Animal Crossing?
No. But I should have thought of that.
Streets of Rage 2.
Bingo.
I'm probably
Boss-
gonna pick.
Boss fights in Streets of Rage.
Let's go with I Am Setsuna.
Oh, that is tight too. The main battle theme.
Mm-hmm.
Main battle
Yeah.
themes are tight. Sorry. Sorry. That's stupid. It's barely an
I hadn't thought
inconvenience.
Just all of I Am Setsuna's music is just so beautiful and well done that's where my vote goes.
And so much of it is just piano. I mean,
Mhm.
some of the battle themes get a little bit extra in there, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's impressive what they did with that.
Let's see. I'm just gonna shore this one to the down. We don't need a lot of discussion on this one. The Inevitable Piglet asks, is heavy rain okay for a child 13 and above? Above?
Yeah.
I'd probably say like late
16 or
16, 17 or above.
Yeah,
I
15,
would-
16.
I would
It
not go
depends on the
13.
kid. 13's a little
13
young
was-
for the average.
I mean, there's
13-year-old.
straight up nudity and some real
No,
heavy
it's-
issues.
It's all masked. You don't have any like frontal nudity. I think there's a couple
Yeah, but
of
it's
rear ends,
the
but
heavy issues thing is the
it's the heavy issues that's more.
Yeah.
There's like literal like dismemberment stuff.
Yeah, so I would say
16
no.
is safe. 16 is safe. Anything below that, it's at your risk and by kids. But I would generally say no.
Lesbian Gamer 802 asks, is Cyberpunk 2077 worth getting now, or is it still extremely buggy? I've never I don't know how to answer this because I never had the problems that everyone was reporting. I play it on PC. I've had like minor bugs, but nothing like not on launch day. Like they did the day one patch, and ever since then it's been good as gold. I have it on PlayStation. I have it on PC. I've never had problems the way that everybody's reporting. And it's not to say that I don't believe that they weren't out there, but I just think people wanted to pile on, which is sad. And the game still made a bajillion dollars. And people didn't ask for, even after people asked for their money back. I don't know. I'd say
I think
yes.
you hold off on that and get the Cyber Run collection that's coming out.
Oh yeah, cyber. Oh crap! No, it's not. It's Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
Oh. Because Cyberrun is a thing. It's a runner. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No. Shadowrun.
Yes.
Shadowrun collection was announced. Very excited for that.
Yeah. that should be
Well, I'd say
solid.
you get them both because I've still really enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077. I think it's a really good game. It's not everything they promised, but it's still a really good game. I like it.
Yeah, I still haven't tried it. I've got it sitting on my shelf. I haven't fired it up, but
I think
seems
you'd
like
be
you bought it?
pleasantly surprised, Matt. I think,
I
you'll
think
be
the
pleasant.
worst of the bugs are gone.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody who's played it recently, and there are still, I mean, there's still definite shortcuts in there. Like, there's like only 2 kids in the whole game, right? And it's the exact same kid on every street
Yeah.
corner, right?
Yeah. 100%.
And there apparently is still some wonkiness with the, like, if you buy the high end cars, they tend to overcome friction and do weird things. But
Gone friction.
yeah, but if you're just going to focus on playing the game, it seems like it's a fair experience at this point. Is it ever going to be The Witcher 3? No, it is obviously never going to be The Witcher 3, and it probably was never intended to be The Witcher 3, but that's kind of what everybody was expecting.
I mean, I think it is kind of The Witcher 3. I really do. That's why I say I think you'd be pleasantly surprised if you actually play it. It has a good, I mean, obviously you could beeline the main quest line, right? And you could probably get everything done in about 40 hours or so. But if you do side missions and collectibles and the rest of that stuff, you're easily looking at a couple 100 hours. And I mean, I know how much time I've logged on The Witcher. I think it's pretty equivalent, actually. So I think you could make that analogy if you really wanted to. And I really think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you play it, Matt.
We watched that Netflix animated Witcher 2. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Have either of you watched it? It's
I have not.
Vesemir.
Yeah, I have not.
Did not even know there was an animated one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Curse of the Wolf or something like that. But it's about a young Vesemir. So yeah, it was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
Have we heard
Anyway.
anything about the live action one?
Yeah, they're going to announce a release date soon, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Oh, and didn't Orville's release date? We
Oh,
totally didn't talk about that. Orville season
because
3.
Orville season 3 finally has a release date, which I've completely forgotten. Facebook, you fail me.
Did
Where
we
are
talk
you?
about the Saints Row reboot, where it looks like the most generic, bland
Don't think so.
teen rebellion? Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
hearing
they're-
good stuff yet.
They're rebelling because of student loans or something?
yeah. I mean, that's basically what it looks like. It's looks like the most generic, non over the top open world game possible.
Yeah,
I'm very upset about this.
I'll just play Saints Row 4 again.
Yeah, again.
Yes, the Orville: New Horizons launch on Hulu only March 10th of 22.
Yeah.
So it's been kicked down the road a good while. I think the primary filming has been done for over a year.
Oh, well,
so
I guess Norm will still be in it.
it could be.
Norm is in it.
Okay.
They said that he finished up his voice acting for it.
I'm just glad he got to appear as himself in one episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm fine with that.
So yeah, most of the main cast is returning.
I was watching
so-
Dirty Work this week. What a classic.
Yep.
All right.
That's going to bring us to the part of the show where we like to say thank you to all of our supporters, for the folks who help make the show possible. As always, if you want to support the show, you can do so by on YouNow becoming a fan and sending likes our direction. On Twitch, hit the follow button. If you're able to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to become one of our rock stars. On YouTube, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload new content, which is almost every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. And last but not least, wherever you're watching, patreon.com/Gamersledge, where you can get your name on every show that we do for as little as $1 a month as one of our producers, just like the fine folks scrolling across the screen right now, our Patreon and Twitch producers. So thank you to Justin, Naomi, John, Regina, Lexi, Tim, Dance Commander, Ramy, Michael, Mark, June, Dave,
Is
John,
watching.
and Arturos. Thank you to all of you for supporting the channel. And that's going to bring us to final thoughts. Keegan, final thoughts.
Final thought. Still looking forward to seeing more of what I'll come across in the Spider-Man comics, and looking forward to see who the last Smash Bros. Character is.
Matt?
Also, everyone watch To Your Eternity.
All right, then. Matt?
I have two. Don't hate me. But first is if you ever come across a place that sells foreign candies, specifically Japanese, Mitsuya ciders.
Really
These
good.
things are
Really
freaking
good.
amazing.
I've had them. They are really good.
You can only have about one or two tops at any given time, or your mouth starts feeling weird.
Yep.
But they are amazing. Yeah.
Matt, I've been meaning to tell you, if you have the chance to grab a Pocari Sweat, get that too. It's a soft drink. It's basically Sprite, but it's funny because it's named Sweat.
Sweat.
Pocari Sweat.
Pocari Sweat. I will keep an eye out next time I head to the store that carries such things. The other thing is another announcement today, and I am ecstatic about this. I am over the ever-loving moon. I saved this from news because I wanted this to be my final thought. The next showrunner for Doctor Who is the return of Russell T Davies, which I almost wish that Jodie Whittaker wasn't leaving now, so that I could see what a Davies run series with her would look like, because I really think the things I don't like about the last couple of seasons are I forget how you pronounce his name. I want to say Chobani, but that's a yogurt.
I didn't hear she was leaving. I didn't know she was leaving.
She and this next year is her and the showrunners last year. And they're doing movies instead of a series, kind of like what they did with Tennant's final year. So it's 4 movies, like 90-minute movies. And then that'll be, I think then the holiday episode will be the last one, and that'll be the swap over. So in 2023, we'll get Russell T Davies as showrunner again, and whoever the next Doctor will be.
Oh, so basically it's moving from Doctor Who format to Sherlock format. For a year. Yeah, for this season.
I think it's a COVID thing, but
Got it. Huh. Dave, final thoughts?
Can't stop playing Animal Crossing. I need help.
I guess that's the final thought.
Do you know someone who's addicted to Animal Crossing? If so, have them contact Dave, where he won't play with them.
Unless you're selling oranges at a ridiculous price on your island, in which case then he will.
I don't know that Dave knows how to use the friend code system.
I think he does, because he had to do that to do his peaches, I think.
Yeah, I do. I have I have friends of islands I visited.
Peaches for me.
Everything. My son and I visit each other's island. So we have the friends code.
But he's next to you. That doesn't count.
We go out over the internet. I mean, it's. I'm counting it as an online multiplayer.
The electrons have to leave New Jersey and go to Washington and come back. So yeah, it's technically.
I think they just kind of go out and run around the block and come back in. I don't think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for Brewster to come back, and it's really sad.
Well, my final thought is that ActRaiser just dropped silently today with no press, no fanfare, which is super sad, because it is probably, I would venture to say, within my top 3.
Who did the music?
Nintendo 64 games. I don't know.
It's not a Nintendo 64 game.
It was a Super Nintendo.
Oh, it was a Super Nintendo. You're right.
Who did the music for it?
Music.
Who did the music? Oh, come on.
I don't know who did the music for it.
It's not Masuda, is it?
Dude.
Looks like Dave's
I never played the game.
Yuzo Koshiro.
Don't tell. Dude.
No, Yuzo Koshiro is the composer.
Right. Oh, you were. It looked like you didn't know who he was for a second, and I was about to get upset.
No. That's the same guy that did Streets of Rage. Yes, I know.
Yes, I know.
Yes, I know. Yes, and the music is awesome, and they have upgraded it to a symphonic store in this one. So you really should go check it out. It is a phenomenal game. And there is no other game that really is kind of that genre. It's
Wow,
like,
I didn't realize he did the first 3 Ys games too. Wow. Okay.
yeah, he's
That makes sense.
it's so good. I mean, it's a game that splits platforming in a Link Returns kind of style with overworld kind of RTS kind of things. What?
Because why not?
Yeah, because why not? I mean, nobody had done that at that point.
I miss those days of games when they would just go, sure.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Parappa the Rapper. Anyways, yeah. So it's a really good game, and I'm really excited about it. So go get it and play it, and let us know what you think. And that brings us to the part of the show where we leave you with a sage part of wisdom to carry you on till the next time we meet. Dave.
Don't do this to me.
Dave.
Oh.
What did the custodian say when he jumped out of the closet?
Supplies?
That is correct.
Good job.
That is 100% correct. I almost feel like I should do a second one because you got it.
I don't know if I upset him or impressed him.
It's a little of both.
Dave got it. I think now we're done. We never do this again. Right?
No,
'Cause
no, that's
Dave
not how
solved
that
the
works.
puzzle.
That's not how it works at all. No.
The
no,
Matrix
no.
has been broken.
No. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, game on.
Game on.
Can't believe I got one.